A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. While Jesus was saying these things to them, suddenly a leader of the synagogue came in and knelt before him, saying, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live." And Jesus got up and followed him with his disciples. Then suddenly a woman who has been suffering from a hemorrhage for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If I only touch his cloak, I will be made well." Jesus turned and, seeing her, said, "Take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well." And instantly the woman was made well. When Jesus came to the leader's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion, he said, "Go away, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl got up. And the report of this spread throughout that district. Every time I read this passage, whether it's from Mark or from Matthew, I am so drawn to the woman who had been hemorrhaging for 12 years. I can't imagine the physicality of that experience, of losing that much blood on a regular basis, what that makes you feel physically, the exhaustion, let alone the social implications. This woman had been considered unclean for 12 years. She was dirty. She smelt poorly. She was unable to work, probably to care for herself. She was cast aside by everyone. And not only was she considered unclean, but anything that she touched for those 12 years was also considered unclean. We have just gone through a year where many of us went without hugs for 1 year. Can you imagine 12 years of no contact with another person? Of having everybody scatter when you walk by, being completely pushed to the outskirts of everything, physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually. So for this woman to reach out and touch Jesus, I can't imagine. Because what she was really doing was running the risk of having him being considered unclean as well. Her belief, her faith was so overwhelming. I can't imagine how many things she probably tried to heal these hemorrhages. 12 years worth of them. But here she had so much faith to reach out and touch the Son of God, touch the Messiah. She reached out and she touched him, running that risk that then he too would be considered unclean. Who knows what would have come from that? But instead, she was healed. Her faith had made her well. She was willing to risk everything. Not that she had that much to lose, I'm sure, to touch the Messiah. Can you imagine if we had a fraction of that faith? That faith that we will be made well? We may not be hemorrhaging for 12 years, but we all have something that we are struggling with. Something that makes us feel unclean, that makes us feel ill, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. If we are just willing to offer up that in a simple touch, Jesus too will make us well. Let us have the faith of this woman, this unnamed woman, this day. And if we all had that faith, imagine what our world could look like. Amen.